Hey everyone, my name is Devin Moreno, and I'm a Baltimore City investor. This whole channel is sort of a journey vlog of me going from no properties, absolutely knowing nothing in real estate, to now owning 17 properties as of the recording of this video. And I'm gonna, I keep on going. I've got now basically a construction company, a property management company, and I'm just churning away at this. So today I wanted to go into a lot of the mistakes everyone, including myself, especially just so many new investors, are making when trying to find a mentor. There are a lot of them, and a lot of them, you guys actually make them with me, people reaching out to me, and there's a lot of reasons why, although we want to help, we might ignore certain people or something like that, just because of these simple mistakes. So today I want to go into it, the type of questions you're asking, the value you're providing, what exactly you're doing wrong when asking to partner on a deal, and then how much should you pay us to be, what exactly is that? And keep in mind, I don't accept payment for mentorship, so this is more really for other mentors, I guess we'll call it. And then the problems with your lunch dates. And so I'm going to go into all 5 of those and show you exactly what you're doing wrong if you're noticing you are having the hardest time ever getting a mentor. And let's start off with number 1, and that is the type of questions you are asking. So most people know that I will more than happily get on the phone with you. Well, not most people, but anyone who's been on the phone with me knows that I will happily get on the phone with you and answer your questions for like 30 minutes to an hour. Have no problem doing that. Many people have reached out to me, and if you have called me before, I'm freely give information and all that. I have no problem with that. The problem is that some people will ask questions like, for example, someone on Instagram sent me a list of 10 addresses. And then it was like, oh, which one of these are a good deal? And I'm like, it takes me like 15 minutes to analyze a property. You really want me to go through your list of properties and then tell you what's a good deal? Like all that time, and then like I'm just helping you. No value to me. Just helping you, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't mind doing that, but like imagine what happens if I answer that question. He's going to send me a list of 10 more properties and 10 more, and it'll never stop. So, of course, I ignored him completely. And unfortunately, this does happen. Some of the questions, there is a such thing as a dumb question. And unfortunately, if it looks like you haven't even gone through the basics, like if it's like you're asking questions like, is it better to flip or buy and hold? The investor is probably going to realize that you need to read some books, you need to do some more due diligence, you need to figure that part out before you continue answering questions. A lot of times when we provide value to people, especially for free, and this is all investors, I've never really met any experienced investors who don't mind sharing knowledge. It's fun to talk about real estate, but we got to get at the sense that you're actually grasping the information at hand here. If it's so difficult for you to grasp the basics, then realistically, you need to turn to YouTube. You need to turn to the books first. So that's probably one of the 5 major problems that I've seen. So the next one we have is you are not providing enough value to the investor, or any value at all. A lot of people will ask me for help, and then they just won't offer anything, like nothing at all. They're like, oh, can we meet and you walk through my property and show me what's going on? Like, and they'll actually ask me like, hey, can you drive an hour to my property or 30 minutes or however long it takes, and then, help me for an hour, because it's going to be like that long, right? And then drive off, and then I'll let you know when I've got the next property for you. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So you have to provide some sort of value. Help us, like offer a service, whatever. Figure out something, right? I have an 18-year-old kid that I mentor and train in real estate. Me and actually a partner of mine do train this person in real estate. He helps us with our videos, our Instagram, social media, stuff like that. He provided value. He's helping me film and stuff like that. I have another person who offered me, she's like, hey, I noticed you have an issue where you don't have a property management software. Why don't I look one up for you? Do all the research and then come with a report of comparing these different, property management softwares for you. Boom. I have someone who helps me manage my books. Oh, like there's services and value you can provide. You just have to kind of think of it. So that's probably the second biggest thing that I've noticed about not providing value and just kind of expecting free services all the time. You would be actually shocked how many new investors really look selfish. And keep in mind, I'm guilty of these things as well. We look selfish because it's just all about us. It's like, what can you do for us? So that's something, if you're not finding a mentor, you might be doing that mistake. Now, number 3, partnering on deals. okay, so you don't know that you're asking this. So a lot of people will come up to me and say, "Hey, do you want to JV on a deal? You want to go half on this deal?" And you mentor me throughout it. And here's the issue. I asked some couple basic questions. Do you have any construction knowledge? No. All right. So that means I got to do all the construction. Do you have any money? No. All right. So I got to fund everything. Do you have any connections whatsoever to make this deal easier? No. Okay. So what you are essentially asking me is you would like me to find the deal, fund the deal, design the deal, get it constructed, get it sold, like broker it, strategize it, literally everything, and then spend a ton of time mentoring you in the process. Because remember, on most of my deals, I try not to go to the properties. You can't really scale by going to the properties that easily. So basically, I now am going to do all of that, and then for all that work, you want to go 50-50. Okay, maybe 90-10. I mean, it really isn't worth it. If you found a slam dunk deal that you knew was a slam dunk deal and you could prove it, then fine. So then, okay, I'll give you a split because you gave me a really good deal. I'll give you maybe a commission on that or something. And part of that commission is lower because I'm mentoring you, right? Like maybe something like that. But most newer investors, of course, are not going to have good deals. A lot of times they're very speculative deals and they need me to tell them if it's a good deal. So it's like, what is the incentive really for me to partner with you at that point? And so I've had that where people say, oh, can you just send me good deals when you find them? And I tell them, well, I mean, the issue with that is if it's a really good deal, why wouldn't I buy it? And so, and it would be much easier for me to get through the entire project without you. So it would be exceedingly difficult. Now, keep in mind, you might say, oh, that's kind of selfish of you. If you have the time, you should help them. But remember, there are hundreds of you asking this. So that would obviously be, I mean, unless I have like, just that much free time, which I honestly don't, it would be very difficult. So partnering without value, you have to come up with a reason I would want to partner with you. Same with all these other experienced investors. If you're saying, hey, can we do a 50-50 partnership? Really what you're saying is, hey, can you do all the work? Teach me what you're doing for a fraction of the pay. That you got to make it look better than that. So the number 4 is paying them. So many of you will say, hey, I'll pay you for your services. That's fine. The problem is, how much is our time worth? And that's where this gets tricky. A lot of times you might be only comfortable paying $100, maybe $500 possibly. But then, you stretch that across like some kind of thing where we meet once a month, the properties, and the amount of time that it takes for that money, you could have just, if you think about it, most advanced investors can wholesale a deal for several tens of thousands of dollars, or something like that. It's not really going to be worth it. And that's the issue with the payment model. You'll see that's why a lot of classes and mentors will charge so much money. Now, you do get some rare ones out there. I will say right here, shouting him out, Mark Owens. He's one of my mentors. I actually have 4 mentors. And actually, I could probably explain how I got all 4 of those. But I have 4 mentors, and Mark Owens, one of them. He is fantastic. For a very low price, he will mentor you and spend a lot of time with you. So you can get some investors like that, but he does want to feel like he's not wasting his time. So make sure on that earlier point that you are reading and studying up. And as far as me, like if I have the time, then yeah, sure, I'll come up with a program. But oftentimes payment can be an issue because it's simply just not enough money. So number 5, the lunch dates, the coffee dates, look. This is a common piece of advice. I'm not really sure why. Essentially, you're taking us out to lunch, and that's not a problem. All right, maybe we were already going to be there. All right, so you have to structure it, where we're already going to be there. It's super convenient for us. But you're taking us out to lunch, and you're going to probe me with questions for like, I don't know, good 30 minutes minimum, and that's fine. Like I said, many of us don't mind doing that. But the problem inherently comes with like how much is that worth? Like most of us are on the go, constantly moving. So the lunch and the coffee, I mean, unless we're seeing something kind of in it for us in the long term, it doesn't make a lot of sense to save on a $10 sandwich or a $3 coffee to spend an hour of our time mentoring somebody, and especially if that's going to be a repeated thing. And remember, we're always thinking about that. Like, how many times are you going to really ask this question? So the lunch dates, in my opinion, need to be coupled with something of value. You have to provide some sort of value. If you're not doing that, there's not a lot of reason to work with you. So the way I can flip it and maybe put it in perspective is think about a skill that you have right now. I don't know, maybe you're good at IT, or maybe you're good at, being a nurse or something like that. And would you take, you might say yes. You think you're going to say yes to this question. It's like, oh, would you take an hour of your time to mentor someone? Yes, everyone would do that. Not a problem. But what if you had 100 people you have to do that with this month? Now, obviously you don't have that many lunches, right? But that's our world. We're like, even with my small 5,000 subscriber channel, I get constantly asked this. Let's say not 100. Let's say 20, right? And then let's couple that with, keep in mind, I have a full-time job, all right? I have multiple businesses. I have my real estate that I work out, and I still have a social life. A lot of these investors are in similar situations. They're juggling lots of massive companies, and constantly things are happening to them. So you might say yes, but if you think if you only have one thing going on, like, oh, you just have your day job, no kids, no marriage or anything, well, yeah, you have a lot of time to do that. These mentors do not have a lot of time to entertain a single lunch meeting necessarily over and over again. They get a little bit burned out. So I would couple that with some sort of value. If you're going to email them down that, talk about a service that you want to provide them as well. Notice a critical weakness. And I'll go through my 4 mentors. I have Mark Owens. The only value I provided him necessarily was paying him. That's all he really wanted. But he did help me a lot in the beginning of my journey, just because he saw that I was, trying to hard charge, really getting moving. But other value I provided. A lot of you know of one mentor I had, Austin Carroll, whom is a realtor on the channel. Well, with him, I got him as a mentor because he's a realtor, and then I ended up working with him. He noticed, okay, he's going to do a lot of the work. That's what I did. I provided him time value, and ended up trying to figure out most stuff on my own, and only using him as a resource if necessary. So that's how him. Maybe other mentors that I might have had where, I provided some sort of service. Long story short, we won't go all into it, but you get the point of the video. That's just provide that value. Really think about it from the other person's perspective on what they're actually going through. So if you have any questions about all of this, comment below. Let me know. I'll be happy to answer anything. And of course, email me. As I said, I constantly get on the phone with people and answer your questions. So feel free to email me. Sorry if there's too many coming at me, and sometimes I don't answer quickly, but hopefully I'll get to it. And I will talk to you all really soon.